All right. I believe our head ministers are out of town on speaking engagements. They got to tour the nation, They're in high demand, So it's really wonderful to be here today with all of you. And I can't believe how quickly the seasons pass us by. And it's still pretty warm outside, right? It's hot, so it doesn't really feel like autumn has hit us yet, huh? It doesn't feel like fall. It still feels like the end of summer, and it's still going to get pretty hot next week from what I understand. But, summertime has passed, and this summer was great. We did a lot of things, and I had a pretty big summer. I made a lot of big changes, So for those of you that don't know, one of the first changes that I made this summer was actually having the opportunity to be on staff here now at the Sacramento Buddhist Church. I am now an official staff member here as the Sacramento Vetsuin Program Developer. You don't know what programs I'm going to do. You can't clap yet. We're going to do mud wrestling and jello fight. No. I am. I'm really excited to do that. And Patty is going to obviously continue with all of her wonderful lectures, but I'm going to try to do more programs that kind of bring us together, I've been coming here since I was a kid, and although you all come here and sit in these rows and you start to recognize the people next to you, but you never really talk to them, hopefully we can do some fun things, just potlucks, karaoke night, stuff like that. Come on out. Don't be shy. It's okay. We'll give you some liquid courage, So, it was wine. It was sophisticated. Don't worry. So, but we want you to come out, have a good time, get to know each other, talk to each other in the courtyard. Don't be shy. Everybody's nice. So that was my plug. I'm also looking for people that wish to be on my committee. Please come out. When the Sangha comes out, my email address will be in there. Shoot me an email. You can leave a note at the office for me with your name and email. They'll get it to me in the office. And I would love for you to help participate, be on my committee. No huge commitment. Don't worry. It's not a big deal. Believe me, we're relaxed. It'll be fine. So the second thing that happened to me over the summer, our family actually, is that we got a dog. Yeah, we adopted a dog. We rescued a dog. People always say rescued, right? Rescued, if you get them from the animal shelter. I didn't pull it out of a burning building over my back. So we adopted a dog. And he's a year and a half old. They're guessing his age. He's a year and a half old, 60-pound pit bull mix. That's what I was waiting for. So he's a big boy, man. He's a big boy, but it's funny. So now it's interesting because when I say the words pit bull, you didn't even hear the part mix. I said mix, but all you heard was pit bull. It's so interesting because the word pit bull brings out an emotional response with some of you, right? Some of you, especially people that aren't that comfortable or familiar with dogs. And a lot of the people might have said, pit bull, why you get such a vicious dog, right? Why would you pick that? It's so dangerous. I don't know why they're Japanese, but whatever. I would never get a pit bull. It's because that's what my dad said, I think. My dad said that. He saw him, he's like, well, you get a pit bull. I said, well, and there are many people that feel very negative, right, about this breed. They feel very negative about this breed. And there are some groups that are actually trying to eliminate this breed entirely. And I want you to think about that for a moment. To fear something so much that you actually want to wipe it off of the face of the earth completely, right? These groups, they don't talk about training or education or helping. They just want to get rid of them all, right? And as human beings, when we don't understand something or we fear something, we have a tendency to want to control it or even destroy it, don't we? When something's unknown or unfamiliar, whether it's a dog breed or whether it's a different race, right? Or a different culture or a different belief system. If it goes against what we're comfortable with or what we feel is normal and we don't understand it, we'll end up fearing it sometimes, okay? And this is very important because part of being a Buddhist means that we definitely try to control our irrational fears. We don't want to have that irrational fear for no reason, is what I mean. If there's a reason, if there's a guy pointing a gun at you, yeah, you could fear that guy, okay? There's a reason. But what I'm saying, if there's no reason, we need to control that fear. And this is what it means to be a Buddhist. We have to see something for what it truly is, not just because somebody says it's bad. And I've heard all the statistics on the dangers of pit bulls, right? You read them all, right, on the internet and all that. And they talk about the fatal attacks and the pit bull mauled the kid's face. And, you see all those images, and they're terrible. Don't get me wrong. And I'm even going to tell you this one time. I actually saved a girl from a pit bull attack. I did. Remember this? We were living in our old house, and for whatever reason, it was a Saturday morning. And I'm dead asleep, and it wasn't that, it was about 7:30 in the morning. And for whatever reason, I was having this dream about my neighbor's house being on fire. Hey, thank you. But my neighbor's house was on fire, and in my dream. And in my dream, I'm getting the garden hose, and I'm pulling it out, and I'm like, ah, and I'm putting out the fire with my garden hose. It's going to make sense in a minute, but... And I guess I was on the cusp of waking up because I heard the most shrill screams from a young girl that I've ever heard in my life. It was not just a scream, I can't explain it. It was that scream that, especially if you're a parent or anybody, not even a parent, that's that scream of, oh my gosh, something's very wrong. It was a scream of terror, fear, pain, and it was, you don't want to hear that scream. And I'm half awake, I'm still dreaming about the fire. I run outside and I see this young girl walking her dog, and I see this just pit on her little corgi. That's the kind of dog, right? Her little corgi dog. And I recognize them because they walk around all the time. And I recognized her because I know she's special needs as well. And this dog's attacking her. But fresh in my mind, I'm putting the fire out with the hose. So I just said, woo! I grab my garden hose and I'm all, wow! And I'm all, come here! Come towards me, and I'm just blasting the pit bull. Luckily, he ran away. Because if he didn't, I'm in my shorts and barefoot. I'm like, you're on your own, man. Sorry, I tried. No. I would have went out there. Anyway, long story short, I get it, guys. I was there. Luckily, the girl was fine. The dog had a little bite, but he was fine. And he was a brave little guy, man. He was sitting there after. He was just a good little corgi dog. Everything was fine. And the grandma, I remember, because they see us, they walk past our corner. She left me a little plant on my doorstep saying thank you. It was just, and I'm glad everybody was fine. Unfortunately, I heard later on that they had to put that pit bull down, and people get mad at the pit bull. I didn't get mad at the pit bull. I got mad at the owners of that dog, right? Y'all know what I'm saying, right? I'm like, Anyway, so the point is, I understand where the fear comes from. And it's not necessarily an irrational fear. So I understand. I'm justifying the fear. And while my heart goes out to all of the victims of brutal dog attacks, my heart goes out, my compassion is with them. But surely you cannot conclude that just because a dog is a certain breed, that all dogs of that breed will behave in a certain way, right? Back when I was younger in the 70s, what was the vicious dog that guarded every single compound or fort that you had to invade? Doberman, very good. Doberman, that was the 70s. Back in the A-team, they always had Dobermans, right? And they always had spike collars, huh? Always. And then in the 80s, it was the Rottweiler. You guys said Doberman, right? Every decade, the trends change. And now it's the pit bull, right? They're the national enemy. So I get it. But being a dog owner has taught me a lot. We had a dog before, but this is kind of new. We're starting over. A dog completely senses your energy, right? And it senses your state of mind. You guys have seen Cesar Millan, dog whisperer, right? Calm, submissive, okay? A dog really takes on your state of mind. When you're relaxing, when you're kicking back, your dog's kicking back. When you're sleeping, your dog's sleeping, right? But when you get all amped up, your dog gets all amped up too. And you don't really know it. Like sometimes I'm watching like the UFC fight. Yeah, I watch UFC, okay. Terrible. It's a mixed martial arts fight, right? And when you watch that, you're not just watching it like, oh, how lovely. What's a lovely engagement? You're like, ah, yeah, bash him in the head, ah, and your dog's like, yeah, bash him in the head, ah. You don't even see him in the corner. You're like, ah, and then you get all mad. Oh, how could you not call that? That was an illegal blow to the back of the, oh, you ref, yeah, you ref, ah. And then and then the fight's over, you're like, I gotta take my dog for a walk, and you're walking your dog, you're like, come on, you're like, man, and your dog's like, yeah, man, and then what happens? This poor guy is walking towards you, right, on his evening walk, poor guy, they're just on their walk, they got the little headphones on, and then your dog's like, yeah, bad breath, and then right when the guy walks by, he goes, pit bull attack, okay? Anyway, and the dog's all like, yeah, I got him, right? You wanted me to get him. No, okay? So you really learn a lot about what kind of energy you're putting out, right, with your mental state, because these animals, they sense that, and your mental state will shape the character of a dog. It's the same thing with your kids, isn't it? Same thing with your kids. You always think, they're not listening. When you're fighting in the kitchen, you think they're not listening? They're right up against the, they're listening, right? You think, they don't understand when they're little. They understand. They feel that energy. They feel that tension. They know. They can sense it all. They may not know how to express it to you, but they're incredibly perceptive, And it's funny about kids, too, because you wish it worked the other way. You wish they would hear the good stuff you're trying to teach them, Say thank you. Yeah. You've said that 1,000,000 times, right? But the one time you use that colorful word, when you get cut off on the freeway, they say that word all day long, don't they? How come you don't learn thank you? Why you gotta learn that one? So, but it's funny, right? So, anyway, okay, let's get back to the story. So the truth about pit bulls is that it really is, there are so many of them. That's why. So I don't know the exact number, but out of the 100 and whatever fatal attacks, I know that's a terrible number in the United States. That's a lot, right? However, consider the fact that there are over 5 million registered pit bulls versus when you hear about, let's say, a chow attack. Well, there's only 26 fatalities. Well, there's only 15,000 of those registered. So if you work it out by percentage, I know that doesn't make sense if your child's been attacked, but it's not as bad as it seems. They sway the figures, Anyway, it's important that we know that we have to have knowledge when we come to a conclusion. We can't just read an article, see a picture of a poor child with a scar. Have you seen that internet video where the cat saves that kid from the pit bull? Man, that was crazy. This pit bull ran around the car, dragged this kid off a tricycle. This cat comes out and just and chased the pit bull away. It was amazing. The most amazing footage. You got to look this up. Anyway, we'll YouTube it right now. Anyway, but just remember, those are all the images that we are bombarded with, right? You don't see the nice pit bull that saved the kid from the bee stings. You didn't see that when the kid stepped on the hornet's nest and the kid was struggling and the pit bull grabbed that kid by the collar and pulled him away. You don't read those stories because those are not sensationalized, right? So we only hear the negative, and that creates our false reality, and that creates our ignorance, right, of what the breed really is. And ignorance and fear is the building block of our prejudice, of our hatreds, right? When you arrive at a conclusion about something or someone without truly knowing them, that is the definition of ignorance, right? One of the 3 poisons, right? Greed, anger, and ignorance. It's gas. How can you forget it? Okay. Ignorance, one of the 3 poisons, okay? So we can't know everything. Ignorance is not the same as not knowing something. How are you supposed to know everything? I clearly don't know everything, okay? That's been established. But you can't know everything, okay? So the object is not to know everything, but it is to control how we make judgments about things that we don't understand. Do not come to conclusions based on a label. So whether I say the word pit bull, that's a label. If I say Democrat, Republican, that's a label. If I say pro-choice or communist or politician, that's a label. So picture in your head what a 60-pound pit bull looks like. Right? Is that what you guys pictured? Is that the face of an animal that knows only violence? Is that the face of an animal that's an aggressive beast? Is that an animal that can't be around children or people? Because it's a vicious pit bull. Look at that size of his head, though. You know? You know, would I allow a vicious beast to be near my daughter, you know? And he plays with our neighbor's pit bull, too. That's another pit bull rescue right there. Look at them. That was taken, this was within the second day I brought him home from the shelter. Second day I brought him home. And there's little Chibi, the little white one in the top. You see him? Oh, oh. So that's it. No, but I wanted you to see. Did when I first opened my speech and I said we got a 60-pound pit bull, and people went, "Ooh," is that what you pictured in your mind? Necessarily, right? It probably wasn't. Maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't. It's not what you pictured in your mind. And I understand that regardless of what pictures you see today, or what words I say, or what message I've shared, sometimes some of you will still and always will fear this breed and this label. Maybe something bad has happened to you, you know, when you were younger or older, whatever. Or maybe something bad happened to somebody you know. So it's really hard to change that label in your mind, that emotion. That fear is imprinted on you now. And it won't change during this little Dharma talk here at the Sacramento Buddhist Temple morning service. But I hope you have room in your heart to know that every dog, just like every human being in here, is unique and deserves to be judged on its own merits. So whether you're talking about an entire breed or an entire race of people or an entire belief system, religious beliefs, any label, remember to judge them based on who they are and what they truly are, not just on a label with your preconceived prejudices. Please join me in closing Gassho. Whether I say the words Democrat, Republican, rock star, or homeless person, no matter what your label is, it does not define you. Don't let a label make up your mind as to who a person truly is. Always try to put forth that right effort and find out who they truly are. Then, and only then, can you truly decide. Let us try to see the world as it truly is, with eyes wide open. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.